All right. So the groups of surahs that we are looking at. So we've done the first two groups of surahs. First group of surahs, central theme was Sharia. The second one was the prophetic methodology of achieving the vision, the Tamam al-Hujjah and Shahada al-Nas. Third group of surahs now we are in, Surah Yunus 2 and including Surah An-Nur. The main central theme here is the struggle of haqq against batil. We mentioned the haqq and the batil yesterday, truth and falsehood, fact and fiction. And to motivate us that haqq always prevails over the batil. And if you follow the haqq, then you will be dominant. Allah's deen will be dominant. Of course, eventually, definitely, for sure. So within this, we looked at yesterday surahs Yunus and Surah Hud. And today we are going to look at Surah Yusuf, Ra'd and Ibrahim. So let's have a look at this in the diagram. I also asked you to have a think about giving these surahs, and I mentioned yesterday the grouping of these surahs as pairs. So Surah Yunus and Hud are a pair. Surah Yusuf is a standalone surah, if you like. It is not a pair with another surah. And hopefully we will appreciate that today, inshallah. And then after that, Surah Ra'd and Ibrahim are a pair again. So if we look at the list of surahs we made yesterday of the pairs, as we can see there now. So we mentioned Surah Yunus and Surah Hud. It seems like a fitting title for it could be this, that they both bring proofs for Allah Ta'ala's oneness, the Risala and Akhirah, and they focus on those signs that we mentioned in the self-creation and history. That's a title for them. Surah Yusuf, I'm not going to suggest a title to you now. I'm going to let you think about it. I'm hoping you've got some titles for you to share with us today at the end of the lesson, inshallah. And then Surah Hijr, Ra'd and Ibrahim also. Let's see if you can suggest some titles for these surahs based on your study of the surahs, yeah, to summarize them. So Surah Yusuf, then let's have a look at Surah Yusuf. First of all, Surah Yusuf, the time of revelation. As we mentioned yesterday, Surah Hud, Surah Yunus, Yunus, then Hud, and then Yusuf are revealed in that order, roughly in the 12th year of Nabawi, 12th year, yeah, which is a year before the Hijrah. The situation is that the Prophet ﷺ is being, of course, a lot of opposition, torture, and even plans now of killing the Prophet ﷺ. Okay. So in this context, we find Allah Ta'ala, He sends Surah Yusuf down to address the mushrikeen indirectly and the Prophet ﷺ indirectly in a way, for them to take lessons and learn from it what they can learn from it as guidance, yeah. So the mushrikeen would attain guidance from this surah, and the Muslimin would attain guidance from this surah. Subhanallah, it's amazing. The same story, the same incident, it would guide both. Yeah, this is guidance from Allah. Okay, it is Hudal Linnas. He will guide all of mankind if they seek the guidance. So what we will find in Surah Yusuf is that Surah Yusuf is a mirror image. Is a mirror image of the life of the Prophet ﷺ. You will find that certain milestones in the life of the Prophet ﷺ, some of his past. So imagine we are at that time, and from this story we would be able to appreciate, oh yes, this has happened to the Prophet ﷺ, or this is happening to the Prophet ﷺ and the believers. But also, what is happening behind the scenes? What are the mushrikeen and the munafiqeen planning? But at this point, more mushrikeen rather than the munafiqeen. And what would happen in the future to encourage the mushrikeen to actually reconsider their stance, because this is essentially Allah Ta'ala telling the mushrikeen, I know exactly what you're up to and what you're planning in your secret meetings, in your najwa, and I know what you are going to do. But let me tell you what will happen. You will fail, and the Prophet ﷺ will be successful. Yes? So this is an amazing surah in that regard. Yeah? So with that in mind, keep that in mind, yeah, when we're going through this surah. So the surah's central theme, the glad tidings to the Prophet ﷺ of the conquest of Makkah, because this is going to be the victory that eventually Yusuf ﷺ was given victory over the adversities, and similarly the Prophet ﷺ will be given that victory, and complete domination and authority will be given to the Prophet ﷺ. Just as Yusuf ﷺ, he was made then one of the main ministers, if you like, under the ruler of Egypt. And one day the Quraysh of Makkah will also be at the mercy of the Prophet ﷺ, just like his brothers at the end of this story, or near the end of the story. These brothers are at the mercy of Yusuf ﷺ, but he shows them mercy, as did the Prophet ﷺ when he entered into Makkah. Okay, let's take ayat then. Let's take the first two ayat of Surah Yusuf. And again, if you remember, the last two surahs started with what? Kitab. Yeah? This surah also starts with the mention of the Kitab. Alif Lam Ra. Tilka ayatul kitabil mubin. Inna anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyyan la'allakum ta'qilun. Allah, He has sent this Qur'an in Arabic for you to ponder, think, understand it. And then, let's move on. So the story of the Prophet of Yusuf alayhi salam. That's really interesting. That Yusuf alayhi salam, as you know, he is the son of Yaqub. Yeah, he is one of the Bani Israel, basically. Yeah, remember that, Bani Israel. Yeah. So Yaqub alayhi salam, Yaqub is the son of who? Ishaq. Ishaq is the son of Ibrahim alayhi salam. His other son Ismail. Yeah, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is from Bani Ismail. Yeah, but from Yaqub alayhi salam, he is Israel. They are the Bani Israel, children of Israel, children of Yaqub. Yeah, so he has 12, and two of them that are mentioned in this surah are Yusuf, and which is the other one? Binyamin. Okay, so there are 12, but two are mentioned in this surah. Yeah? I'm not sure if Binyamin is mentioned by name, but he's mentioned as a character, if you like, in the surah amongst the other brothers. So now it's really interesting because this is also, in a way, even addressing the people of the book, yeah, to show that the reason for you not believing the Prophet ﷺ is the same jealousy as the brothers of Yusuf had for him. So anyway, and the other interesting thing is that this is seems to me, from what I can remember, the only story in the Quran about a prophet that is in chronological order, from beginning to end, and in one surah. That's it. Yeah. I can't remember or think of a surah where the chronological story of the prophet of that prophet has been mentioned in just one surah in complete order. This seems like it's quite unique. That's why it's a standalone surah, yeah? That's why we're not saying that it is a pair with another surah. Okay, so as we know, Yaqub alayhi salam, he has 12 sons, and Yusuf alayhi salam, he has a dream, he sees a dream, and then he shares that dream with his father, but his father tells him not to let his brothers know because they are from another mother and they would be jealous. So there's a parallel here with the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah, when you think of that parallel. The parallel is that when the Prophet ﷺ was given Nabuwa, prophethood, just like now Yusuf alayhi salam, he's seeing dreams, which is a part of prophethood. His own brothers became jealous of him. Yeah, or there's potential of them becoming jealous, just like you, Quraysh. Yes, you have become jealous of your own brotherhood, your own brethren, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, and there is enmity now and jealousy between you. So let's take the ayat. Let's take ayat 5. Ayat 5. قال يا بني لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك فيكيدوا لك كيدا. And this is a key word in this surah, kaid, yeah, to plan, to plot. Because it's all about planning and plotting. People plan and Allah plans, and Allah is the best of planners. Yeah, that could be the title of the surah in a way. So Yusuf alayhi salam is being told by his father Yaqub alayhi salam, who is a prophet, that do not share this vision that you had, your dream, with your brothers, because they would then start to plan against you, because shaitan is very active in flaring up enmity between brethren. And then Allah Ta'ala is saying in this ayah 7 that in the story of Yusuf and his brothers, there are many signs for people who seek guidance. Yeah, many signs. So there are signs for the believers, there are signs for the Quraysh. This is guidance for them to bring them back and to do tawbah. So we know the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. Then his brothers plan because they're jealous of him and his attention given to him by his father, because he's the youngest. He's older than Benjamin, but he's the youngest compared to them. So they plan to kill him. Yeah, so they plan to kill him. However, one of them says, "Don't kill him." Yeah, okay. One of them says, "Don't kill him." Now this is very interesting to contrast this with the secret meeting of the chiefs of Quraysh. They all met and they were saying, "What should we do? What shall we do?" None of them suggested to kill him. Yeah, none of them. Iblis came to suggest that. You see that? You see the contrast there. Yeah, there's a difference. There's a najwa there, secret najwa, council of the leadership of Quraysh. But shaitan, he comes and he suggests to kill the Prophet. So Allah Ta'ala is telling the Prophet, there is planning going on behind you. Yeah, they are planning to kill you. They are planning to harm you. But they then decided to not kill him, but they rather to take him out for a day trip, if you like. And Yaqub alayhi salam, he's very worried about that. But still he allows them. They plan to kill him. They don't. They throw him into a well. They throw him into the well. And look at this. When they have thrown him into the well, in ayah 15, فَلَمَّا ذَهَبُوا بِهِ, when they took him out, وَأَجْمَعُوا أَنْ يَجْعَلُوهُ فِي غَيَابَةِ الْجُبِّ, when they agreed that they would put him into the bottom of the well, then Allah Ta'ala, he is inspired, he is sending wahi to who? Yusuf alayhi salam. Yeah? وَوَحَيْنَا إِلَيْهِ, then we send wahi. لَتُنَبِّئَنَّهُمْ, you will definitely tell them, and you will have them as you are taking account of them. بِأَمْرِهِمْ, by their action. هذا, this action. وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ, and they won't even realize who you are. Subhanallah. Yeah. So what is Allah Ta'ala saying to the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam when he's in the bottom of the well? He is telling him, he is promising him that you will have the upper hand one day above these people. SubhanAllah. So now if somebody knows that, then all their go through is easy, isn't it? Because they know the end is in my favor, yeah? As they say, who has the last laugh? Yeah? Who has the last laugh? And this is what is being told to the Prophet ﷺ and the believers, that you may find yourself in this difficult situation where there's no way out. Yeah, just like in a well, there's no way out of a well. You find there's no way out of Makkah. Okay, but Allah Ta'ala, He will give you a way out. He will give you the Ansar of Medina, and then you will come back and dominate these people within 9 to 10 years of this. SubhanAllah, yeah, 9 to 10 years of this whole situation. Okay. So then we move on. The story moves on. He is then sold in the slave market. He ends up in the house of one of the ministers of Egypt. And when the father, Yaqub alayhi salam, he hears of this, he says something beautiful. قَالَ بَلْ سَوَّلَتْ لَكُمْ أَنفُسُكُمْ أَمْرًا. He says, I know that your souls would have enticed you to do this evil. فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ. So now my job in this tragedy is to exercise the best amount and the best way to be patient, to be steadfast. Yes. Wallahu al-musta'an, and Allah is the only one who we seek Allah Ta'ala for help about what has happened to us. So this is teaching the Prophet ﷺ, yeah, because he was also personally as well, he went through a very tough time. He lost Khadija radiallahu anha in the 10th year, yeah, and then he lost Abu Talib, which was one of the helpers of the Prophet ﷺ when it came to the Quraysh, yeah. So Allah Ta'ala is saying you have to remain steadfast in this beautiful manner, yeah, and do not lose hope in Allah, just like Yaqub alayhi salam. And ayah 21, we move on to the next section. The next section, his trials in Egypt, yeah, the trials in Egypt for Yusuf alayhi salam. Now that he has reached Egypt, and Allah Ta'ala, he is telling us that he ended up with one of the ministers of Egypt. But the last section of the ayah, Wallahu ghalibun ala amrihi. Allah, He is absolutely always dominant over all affairs. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. But most people don't realize or don't remember this. They feel hopeless or they feel helpless. Yeah, they should not feel helpless and hopeless if they are doing what Allah wants them to do, if they are following the truth. Allah, He is always ghalib. Yes, He's always ghalib. He has dominance. He is in charge. He is in control of everything, all the affairs, everything that is happening. It is not happening without His will. And if you stick to the haqq, as Yusuf alayhi salam he did, and his father he did, then the haqq will prevail. And the batil, even though there were 10 of the brothers, yeah, 10 brothers who plotted wrongly, batil, their plan was batil. They were, in the end, they lost, and the one person who was initially weak, he was weak, eh? He was weak. He was, how old he was when he was put into the well, roughly, from what you've heard before. I didn't study it today, so I'm just asking you. It's not a quick question. He was a teenager, yeah? Teenager, vulnerable teenager, not very strong. So there's a parable here between the Prophet and the Ummah. How many there were? 100 maybe, yeah, in Makkah, 100 maybe, yeah? Weak. In comparison to Makkah and the Quraysh. Allah Ta'ala is saying, don't worry, yeah? Allah, He will give you ghalba. Within 10 years, you will be ghalib by the will of Allah, because you are on the haqq. So there's a lot to learn from that. So in Egypt, then we find that he is the wife of the minister, she tries to seduce him, she tries to allure him to the displeasure of Allah, to sin. And what does he do when he is tempted? Yeah. So these are temptations that the believers were also presented with. He seeks Allah's refuge. Ma'adallah. Ma'adallah. Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you. You are the one who can save me. And Allah Ta'ala, He saves him from temptation. Okay? So this is teaching the believers that many temptations will come your way. Money, position, women, etc. All of these were used to try to tempt the believers. But Allah Ta'ala, He saved them from all these temptations. And then in ayah 38, there's mention of Ibrahim alayhi salam, because he is the forefather. So this is Yusuf alayhi salam saying in jail, yeah. So after, essentially, he is accused by the wife of the minister that he is trying to force himself upon her. But although they know that he is true and she is lying, he ends up in jail eventually. And then he is giving da'wah, he's inviting his inmates to the worship of Allah. And then he tells them, وَاتَّبَعْتُ مِلَّةَ آبَاءِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ, that I follow the way of my forefathers, but these forefathers were rightly guided. They are from Ibrahim, then his son Ishaq, and Yaqub, my father. مَا كَانَ لَنَا أَن نُشْرِكَ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ, it is not befitting for me to associate any partner with Allah. ذَلِكَ مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ عَلَيْنَا وَعَلَى النَّاسِ, and this is Allah's bounty upon me and mankind. وَلَكِنْ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَشْكُرُونَ. Yashkurun, this is a key word. But most people are not grateful to Allah. Yes, shukr is to use the blessing that has been given to you as it should be used. And as the one who has given it to you, the mun'am is the one who gives you the blessing. Yes, mun'im, the one who receives the blessing. And this is related to an'amta alayhim, yeah? Favor Allah gives. The one who uses this ni'mah as Allah wants is shakir, is grateful. The one who doesn't use the blessing as Allah wants is what? Kafir, ungrateful. Yeah. So kufr, one of the linguistic meanings of kufr is to be ungrateful. Okay, as well as to hide, because hiding is the same. You hide the blessing by not using it as it should be. Another mention in the ayah in the surah in the end will be, most people they believe in Allah, but they do shirk with Him. Okay, most people they do shirk because it is sometimes very difficult to differentiate. So he is telling them about Ibrahim alayhi salam, and here this is also touching to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he is also from the lineage of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Yeah, so this is, he can feel this pain that Yusuf went through, and he can share in this. Okay, let's move on. So he spends roughly 8 years, if I'm not mistaken, in jail. If I'm not mistaken, and then after that, Allah understand. He's gone again. Okay, we'll try and bring that back again. So after that, then he has two inmates. They both have a dream, and they interpret the dreams. The dreams come true, and then when one of them is released, he says to the one who is being released that, mention me to the king. Yeah, mention me to the king. But he forgets. Yeah, that person, he forgets to mention him to the king. So then what happens is that he has to spend more time in the prison, and then eventually the king has a dream. The king has a dream. The king has a dream about 7 cows rather, that are very fat. Here it is. It says here, and he can't interpret this dream, and none of his ministers can either. So now at that point, that person remembers, that person who was released from prison, he remembers that, oh, there was a person in jail who could interpret dreams. Yeah. So let me ask him. So the king then asks Yusuf. But Yusuf says, I will only come out of jail if my innocence is proven. And then it is proven that he was innocent and the wife of Aziz was the actual person who committed this obscenity. So he is asked, and Yusuf, أيها الصديق أفتنا في سبع بقرات سمان يأكلهن سبع عجاف وسبع سنبلات خضر وأخرى يابسات لعلي أرجع إلى الناس لعلهم يعلمون. So Yusuf alayhi salam, O man of truth, explain to us about the 7 fat cows that are eaten by 6 lean cows. Yeah. So he then interprets this that you will have 7 years of consecutive harvest. So you should use the harvest sparingly and you should hoard, you should store the rest for 7 years that will follow. That will be the years of drought. 7 years of drought. 7 years of drought. And the Malik, the king, he is very happy. He's very happy with Yusuf alayhi salam. So he selects Yusuf alayhi salam. Astakhlishu li nafsi. Yeah, astakhlishu li nafsi. So we mentioned, not in this, not in this series of talks, but previously, the word ikhlas. Ikhlas, yeah. Ikhlas is also to single somebody out. Single somebody out, yeah. So he singles him out. He gives him the privilege, and then he makes him makinun amin. He gives him tamkeen fil ard. Makeen is a position, yeah. And Allah Ta'ala, He mentions in the Quran that to the believers, He will give them, in Surah Nur, the ayah I'm trying to look for, إِمَّكَّنَّاهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Yes, إِمَّكَّنَّاهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. When we give a position, we give stability, we give the ability for people to now settle down. Yes, yes, Allah Ta'ala is saying, this is a favor from Allah. And this is what will happen to the Prophet ﷺ. He will be given tamakkun. He will be given stability and settlement in Medina and then in Mecca. Yeah? So there's another parallel. So he's given this and he's trusted, and then he then essentially manages all of these affairs. All of these affairs he manages, and then there's a drought after those 7 years. It's quite amazing, subhanAllah, when you think about it. Just from the perspective of Yusuf alayhi salam and Yaqub alayhi salam, and just a story that all these events took place for this reason, subhanAllah, to guide people. All these events took place in that whole region, because where was Yaqub alayhi salam living? Any idea? Canaan, Palestine, near Palestine, which is far from Egypt. Okay, but the whole region, it was suffering from this famine, yeah, this drought, famine, no food, etc. So they had to then travel to Egypt, yeah, to Egypt to get grain, to get food, yeah? And subhanAllah, stockpile in this difficult time. So Allah Ta'ala gave Yusuf the tamkeen, the settlement, that he was in charge of this now. He was in charge. He had the tables turned. Tables turned. Subhanallah. How Allah Ta'ala, He changes the tables. The haqq always prevails. Subhanallah. So, longer explanation, but I'm not going to go into that, the story too much. So they come, they visit him, then he makes sure that he causes a situation such that his youngest brother has to stay with him, and then the other brothers go back, and they have to then bring their father on the third visit, and eventually these brothers, they realize that this is Yusuf. They realize that this is Yusuf alayhi salam. 86, I want you to make a point from ayah 86. 76. 86 is that when you are in difficulty, Allah Ta'ala is teaching us that when you are really in difficulty and you have found real difficulty, only ask Allah. قَالَ إِنَّمَا أَشْكُ بَثِّي وَحُزْنِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. I only complain of my suffering and my grief to Allah. Only Allah. وَأَعْلَمُ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Because I know about Allah which you don't know, because he was a prophet. Yaqub alayhi salam, he was a prophet. So the brothers now, they realize that this is Yusuf alayhi salam, and they are very, very embarrassed in front of him, guilty in front of him. But look at what Yusuf alayhi salam, how he deals with his brothers. Yeah. So these few ayat from 90 to 92, 3 ayat. قالوا أئنك لأنت يوسف. All these brothers, all of his brothers, they said to him, are you Yusuf? قال أنا يوسف. He said, yes, I'm Yusuf, وهذا أخي, and this is my brother Binyamin. قد من الله علينا. And straight away, instead of blaming them or accusing them, he praises Allah. Yeah, he thanks Allah for the favors Allah has shown him. Look at all the difficulty he went through. Yeah, he was thrown in the well, slave. He became a slave, sold in Egypt. Then he was accused. Then he went to jail. All these difficulties. He didn't start crying about those. No, he said, "Man Allah alayna." Allah has favored me. Innahu may yattaqi wa yasbir. Because whoever has taqwa and has steadfastness in following the haqq, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah Ta'ala is telling the believers in Makkah, all of this hardship that you are going through and all the good you are doing, it won't go to waste. It won't go to waste. That's why we should know, when you are told hard work doesn't go to waste, it's true. Hard work never goes to waste in your life. You will always find that there is benefit in what you have done, sometimes many years later. Hard work will never go to waste, especially if it is done sincerely for Allah. قَالُوا تَاللَّهِ لَقَدْ آثَرَكَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا. And they said, the brother said, by Allah, certainly Allah has preferred you over us. Yeah, we were jealous of our father liking you. Now we realize that Allah Ta'ala, he has chosen you. Yes, you are worthy of that status. وَإِن كُنَّا لَخَاطِئِينَ. And we were definitely the people who committed this sin, all of us together. So they are openly what's the word I'm looking for? Confessing their crime. And this is the mercy of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. He says to them, لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. There is no blame upon you today. I forgive you. يغفر الله لكم. May Allah forgive you. So he's not saying that I forgive you. Subhanallah, look at that. Humble. He's so humble. He's saying, Allah, may Allah forgive you. Yeah. So he's making dua to Allah. وَهُوَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. Because Allah, he is the most merciful of those who show any mercy. So he is praising Allah Ta'ala's mercy. He's not expecting them to praise him for being merciful. And as we know that the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in the 8th year of Hijrah, 8 years after he made Hijrah to Medina, he went through all these difficulties of Badr, and then of Uhud, and then Ahzab, then Hudaybiyah, then Khaybar, and then we also were studying before in Surah Tawbah, all the difficult times that he went through. But then in the 8th year of Hijri, Allah Ta'ala, he gave him victory. He entered into Makkah sajidan or sujjadan, yeah, sujjadan. He entered into Makkah as if he was prostrating, humble, and the hadith mentioned that the camel he was riding, his head was bowed down so much that it would touch the neck of the camel. Yeah, in humility, he entered into Makkah, and he announced an amnesty amnesty for all the people. Whoever enters Haram is safe. Whoever enters the house of Abu Sufyan is safe. Except for 4 or 5 criminals. Yes, 4 or 5 criminals. These people were not forgiven. Yeah, they were punished. But other than that, it was general amnesty. And this is exactly what the Prophet ﷺ, he said after he had conquered Makkah, and all those people who planned against him and his believers and Allah for all these years. Imagine that. Yeah. He says the same. He says, I say to you what my brother Yusuf said to his people, La tathriba alaykum al-yawm. Yeah, there's no blame on you. Subhanallah. So, moving on then, there is also hope for Quraysh. Yeah, hope for Quraysh, because these people, his brothers, they ask Yaqub al-Islam that, oh, Yaqub al-Islam, please ask Allah to forgive us. Yeah. Okay. And Yaqub al-Islam, he says to his sons, قَالَ سَوْفَ أَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكُمْ رَبِّي. I will soon ask Allah Ta'ala to forgive you. So Quraysh are being told, you still have an opportunity. Ask the Prophet ﷺ to seek forgiveness for you. Yeah? Because, you know, in the Quran, Allah Ta'ala mentions that Allah Ta'ala, He does not send an adhab to a qawm if the messenger is with them, or if what? وَهُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. And if they are seeking forgiveness of Allah. You see this? Allah Ta'ala is telling the Quraysh, yeah, without embarrassing them directly, by saying, look, you understand this is talking to you, yeah? You should seek Allah's forgiveness by asking the Prophet ﷺ to ask to forgive you by you accepting him, and you will be saved. Otherwise, what is coming to you, you know. And then in the last few ayat of the surah is the message of the surah. Let's just read. I'll read the Arabic, you read the English. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن قَبْلِكَ إِلَّا رِجَالًا نُوحِي إِلَيْهِم مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْقُرَىٰ أَفَلَمْ يَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَيَنْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِهِمْ وَلَدَارُ الْآخِرَةِ خَيْرٌ لِلَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. So this addresses the believers and the mushrikeen. حَتَّى إِذَا اسْتَيْأَسَ الرُّسُلُ وَظَنُّوا أَنَّهُمْ قَدْ كُذِبُوا وَجَاءَهُمْ نَصْرُنَا فَنُجِّيَ مَن نَّشَاءُ. Subhanallah. When the people, the believers even, the messengers even, when they lost hope, yeah, when they lost a bit of hope, they were difficult. It was difficult. It was getting hard, yeah. Allah Ta'ala, then He sends His victory, and He saves the believers. And compare this word istayasa, yeah, to taqnatu. La taqnatu min rahmatillah, yeah. La taqnatu min rahmatillah is more severe hopelessness. Istayasa is less than that, yeah. In Urdu we say mayus. It's similar. And Allah Ta'ala is saying in the last ayah, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي قَصَصِهِمْ إِبْرَةٌ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. For the people of lub, the people of understanding, the people who really understand the reality of everything, there are many signs in this. There is a lot of lessons to learn. مَا كَانَ حَدِيثًا يُفْتَرَى. This is not an iftara. What is iftara? This is not a fabrication. Fabrication, yeah? It is the same as slander, because this is slander against the Prophet ﷺ. ولكن تصديق الذي بين يديه وتفصيل كل شيء وهدى ورحمة لقوم يؤمنون. So Surah Yusuf, a very unique surah to learn a lot of lessons and to get a lot of hope and encouragement to work for Allah. Okay, the other app is not working, I think, again today for some reason. So I'm going to not try and use that. We'll go to the summaries instead, inshallah. Surah Ra'd and Surah Ibrahim now. Surah Ra'd and Ibrahim, a pair. Surah Ra'd and Ibrahim. Okay. Both of these surahs, they will now tell us about haqq and batil. Yeah. So in the story of Yusuf, we saw that the haqq prevailed over the batil in the story of one prophet. And now we will see different similitudes and examples of haqq and batil given in these two surahs. This surah also, Surah Ra'd, also starts with mention of the book. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم را تلك آيات الكتاب وَالَّذِي أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ الْحَقِّ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. And then there is mention of ayat in the creation of Allah. Yeah. So I'll just read these ayat from 2 to 4. الله الذي رفع السماوات بغير عمد ترونها ثم استوى على العرش وسخر الشمس والقمر كل يجري لأجل مسمى يدبر الأمر يفصل الآيات لعلكم بلقاء ربكم توقنون. وهو الذي مد الأرض وجعل فيها رواسي وأنهارا. So Allah favors, He's reminding us. ومن كل الثمرات جعل فيها زوجين اثنين يغشي الليل النهار إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون. وفي الأرض قطع متجاورات وجنات من أعناب وزرع ونخيل صنوان وغير صنوان يسقى بماء واحد ونفصل بعضها على بعض في الأكل إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يعقلون. Allah Ta'ala, He is inviting us to think about these and be grateful for all His favors. So how does this relate to haqq and batil? Haqq and batil. One of the meanings of haqq was somebody has the right. Justice. Justice is what? Thank Allah for these. Be grateful for this. Yeah? Acknowledge Allah's favor and thank Him for this favor, and therefore then use this as He wants you to use this favor. Okay? This is the haqq of Allah. This is Allah Ta'ala's right upon us. And then Allah, He reminds us of His sunnah in this ayah, after mentioning the angels, لَهُ مُؤَقِّبَاتٌ مِّن بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِ يَحْفَظُونَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِ اللَّهِ. Allah Ta'ala is appointed angels to protect us. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. But Allah Ta'ala, He does not change the situation of a people from being good, yes, to being bad until people change what's inside themselves. So we are the cause as a human race for any problems that we have, because we have at some point and in some aspects not followed Allah Ta'ala's guidance. إِذَا أَرَادَ اللَّهُ بِقَوْمٍ سُوءًا فَلَا مَرَدَّ لَهُ. And if Allah Ta'ala, He decides something to happen to a nation, then nobody can change that. وَمَا لَهُم مِّن دُونِهِ مِن وَالٍ. And nobody will save you or protect you other than Allah. So know that Allah Ta'ala, He has this right. So another aspect of haqq. Lahu da'watul haqq. Yes? Da'wah here means dua. Yeah? To seek Allah Ta'ala's in dua, meaning to ask Allah Ta'ala, to supplicate to Him, to expect to be listened to be heard, and for Allah to protect and grant you what you want. This is only the right of Allah. So when you pray to Allah, this is right. Okay? It is the right thing to do. You are doing it to the right entity, Allah. وَالَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِهِ. But those who pray to other than them, who seek assistance from other than Allah, لَا يَسْتَجِيبُونَ لَهُمْ بِشَيْءٍ. Nothing is responded to, yeah, from the dua, except, so the example is given now, إِلَّا كَبَاسِطِ كَفَّيْهِ إِلَى الْمَاءِ لِيَبْلُغَ فَاهُ وَمَا هُوَ بِبَالِغِهِ. Except that, imagine a situation that a person is very thirsty, and this person can see water in the distance, and he is reaching out to it and asking for the water to come to him or her. Yeah? Will the water come to that person? No. Yes? This is an exercise in futility. There is no outcome of this exercise. Yes? وَمَا دُعَاءُ الْكَافِرِينَ إِلَّا فِي ضَلَالٍ. Similarly, the dua, the supplication to anybody other than Allah is lost. Nothing happens to it. So the haqq of dua is only with Allah. And you know that the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah. Ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah. That dua is ibadah. The essence of ibadah The essence of ibadah is to supplicate to Allah, expect only from Allah. So another aspect of haqq has been mentioned. Then we are invited to think. Think about Allah and His right. Qul man rabbus samawati wal ard. Who is the Rabb of the samawat and ard? Rabb is the one who is running everything. Everything is in balance. Everything is designed. Everything is in interdependency. It is running smoothly day and night. Who is the Rabb of that? Qulillah, of course Allah. Qul أَفَاتَّخَذْتُم مِّن دُونِهِ أَوْلِيَاءَ لَا يَمْلِكُونَ لِأَنفُسِهِمْ نَفْعًا وَلَا ضَرًّا. So then would you take somebody other than that one who is doing all this, alone, as awliya, as helpers for you, who have no milkiyah, they have no control over anything for themselves or for others. Forget others, for themselves. They cannot benefit or harm themselves. Is this right? Think about it. Qul, and then ask them, هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الْأَعْمَى وَالْبَصِيرُ. Think about it. Are the people who are blind the same as those who can see? Think about it. Are they the same? You would say no. أَمْ هَلْ تَسْتَوِي الظُّلُمَاتُ وَالنُّورُ. Or would you say that darknesses are the same as light? Dhulumat, darknesses, meaning different ideologies that you are coming out with. Is that the same as the one light of Allah's guidance? No, it's not the same. أَمْ جَعَلُوا لِلَّهِ شُرَكَاءَ خَلَقُوا كَخَلْقِهِ فَتَشَابَهَ الْخَلْقُ عَلَيْهِمْ. Or have they attributed to Allah partners who created like His creation? Are they creators? Did they create something? No, they didn't. So then say to them, قُلِ اللَّهُ خَالِقُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. He created everything. وَهُوَ الْوَاحِدُ الْقَحَّارُ. He is alone and He is dominant over everything. So now think about it. Who has the right, therefore, to be worshipped? So this is compelling the disbeliever to think and then decide. And then beautiful example and similitude of haqq and batil has been given. This is very, very powerful. Very powerful, subhanAllah. أَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً. Allah Ta'ala, He sends the rain, the water from the skies. فَسَالَتْ أَوْدِيَةٌ بِقَدْرِهَا. And then the valleys, in the valleys, this water will then flow according to its capacity. فَاحْتَمَلَ سَيْلُ زَبَدَ الرَّابِيَةِ. And then you will see the torrent that occurs because of this fast flowing water, a rising foam on top of that water. So this is one example, water flowing fast speed in the valleys causes a foam on top of the water surface, number one. Second example, and وَمِمَّا يُوقِدُونَ عَلَيْهِ فِي النَّارِ. And that which you heat on the fire, ابْتِغَاءَ حِلْيَةٍ. So you want to extract jewelry from that, so gold and silver, when you burn it in the furnace. أَوْ مَتَاعٍ. Or for use, زَبَدٌ مِثْلُهُ. You will find also a foam like it on the top of the gold and silver. Okay, so we're talking about foam. Foam. كَذَلِكَ يَضْرِبُ اللَّهُ الْحَقَّ وَالْبَاطِلِ. Haqq and batil can be seen in this light. The foam is batil. The foam, the rising foam is batil. It is on top of it, it covers everything, It covers everything. It seems like there's nothing under it. But what is it? It's bubbles. It is bubbles. This is nothing. And how long does it last? Not long. فَأَمَّا الزَّبَدُ فَيَذْهَبُ جُفَاءً. As for the foam, it vanishes. وَأَمَّا مَا يَنْفَعُ النَّاسِ. But that which benefits, the water benefits, the gold and silver benefits, فَيَمْكُثُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Then it remains on earth for a long time. The haqq prevails. كَذَلِكَ يَضْرِبُ اللَّهُ الْأَمْثَالِ. And this is how Allah Ta'ala, He shows His examples to people that haqq will prevail, batil is short term. The batil is the batil's life will expire with the life of this earth. That's it. As soon as this universe comes to an end, When Allah decides, the batil expires. And then haqq remains for how long after that? Forever. So is there any comparison in the lifespan of the haqq and the batil? No, the haqq is perpetual, it is eternal. And the batil is a very short-lived life. So do not be mesmerized by the batil. Then Allah, He mentioned the ulul albab, the people who really think. Yeah? Who are these people? Alladhina yufuna bi ahdillah, the people of haqq. Who are they? I'll read the Arabic, you read the English. Yeah? Alladhina, so we're talking about ulul albab, which is the people who follow haqq. Yeah? Alladhina yufuna bi ahdillah, wa la yanquduna al-mithaq. والذين يصلون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويخشون ربهم ويخافون سوء الحساب والذين صبروا ابتغاء وجه ربهم وأقاموا الصلاة وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية ويدرؤون بالحسنة السيئة. This is very important. يدرؤون بالحسنة السيئة. When they are confronted with evil, they respond with they respond with goodness. In the previous surahs, what was mentioned about this? Al-hasanat yudhibna sayyi'at. Good deeds will remove bad deeds. And this is the characteristic of the people of haqq. Because they want the haqq to prevail. Ulaika lahum uqbad dar. For them is the home in the hereafter. What is that home? Jannatu adnin yadkhulunaha. The gardens they will enter. Allahumma rabba ja'alna minhum. May Allah make us from them. Whenever you read Quran, make dua with every ayah. With every ayah, there is a dua. When you read about Jannah, say Allah make me from that. When you read about Jahannam, you say Allah protect me from that. You read about anything, you say, Allah give me that or protect me from that. Every ayah. وَمَنْ صَلَحَ مِنْ آبَائِهِمْ وَأَزْوَاجِهِمْ وَذُرِّيَّاتِهِمْ. And the righteous from their fathers and their wives or husbands and their progeny, their children. وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ يَدْخُلُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ بَابٍ. Subhanallah al-Azim. How many doors of the Jannah? 8. From every door of Jannah, angels will arrive, angels will enter saying, Salamun alaykum bima sabartum. Salamun alaykum bima sabartum. Peace on you now. Relax. Because you were steadfast in the dunya. You stuck to the haqq. فَنِعْمَ عُقْبَ الدَّارِ. And this is the best place as the home. And then that compares with the disbelievers. Okay, moving on. 28. Ayah 28. What is the time? الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا تَطْمَئِنُّ قُلُوبُهُمْ بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. The believers, their hearts find itminan, assurance, tranquility, peace with dhikr of Allah. أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ. Yes? So, how we should understand it in today's day and age. And we will have to end with that because of the time for today. In today's day and age, we have, before that, our fitrah, we have a longing for Allah. We long to be with Allah, to be close to Allah, to remember Allah, and to do what Allah wants. We have a longing for this, yeah? And we can never fulfill that in this life. We have to keep trying. We cannot get to we cannot be fulfilled, yeah? But this instinct, yes, Iblis has directed towards consumerism. Consumerism, yes? Capitalism is all about consumerism, yes? Entice people, invite people, attract people, zinatul hayatid dunya, make it attractive that people will want to now acquire this because they have an instinct to want more. Okay? You have to listen to this very carefully. The instinct is you want more to get closer to Allah. You want more. This has been directed by consumerism to want more of consumer goods, things, gadgets, yeah? Or to go on to one YouTube video and then go to the one that clicks next to it and then keep going mad, yeah? No end. So this stuff has replaced the dhikr of Allah, the dhikr of Allah, dhikr of Allah. It's very deep, subhanAllah, really. We have to spend time to understand it and think about this. Dhikr of Allah is what will fill this gap in the human. Yes, dhikr of Allah. To see Allah Ta'ala's creation as it is in the light of Allah's revelation, to live a life according to Allah Ta'ala's revelation, to see everything in light of Allah Ta'ala's revelation is dhikr. Okay? It is not just saying Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Of course, that is the means to attain that dhikr. And the last thing in this surah, ayahs 41 and 42, very important, these two ayat about haqq and batil. أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا أَنَّ نَأْتِي الْأَرْضَ نَنْقُصُهَا مِنْ أَطْرَافِهَا. You see, we have set upon the land, reducing it from its borders, meaning the influence of Quraysh is now reducing. Okay? وَاللَّهُ يَحْكُمُ لَا مُؤَقِّبَ لِحُكْمِهِ. Allah, He has decided this. Yes, firm decision. Nobody can change this decision. And Allah, He is swift in hisab. وَقَدْ مَكَرَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. Many people came before the people of Quraysh. They did a lot of planning, plotting, strategic think tank. You hear of all this, yeah? فَلِلَّهِ الْمَكْرُ جَمِيعًا. But to Allah belongs all of this. The end decision is with Allah. يَعْلَمُ مَا تَكْسِبُ كُلُّ نَفْسٍ. He knows everything, what everybody's doing. He knows what the people of batil are doing. He knows what the people of haqq are doing. وَسَيَعْلَمُ الْكُفَّارُ لِمَنْ أُقْبَ الدَّارِ. And very soon, these people who are extremely disobedient and they are ungrateful to Allah, they will know who has the real end in the end of the day. So with that, we couldn't take Surah Ibrahim, but inshallah tomorrow we will take Surah Ibrahim and the other surahs. Inshallah, biiznillah.